Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with RTG Call Center Solutions, and in today's video, I have a special guest with me, Connor Resbeck with Dialpad, again, to show you guys a quick demonstration of Dialpad for contact centers. First and foremost, Connor Resbeck is no stranger to this channel. He's been in many videos in person and whatnot for this channel, but for the folks that are not familiar with who you are and what you do at Dialpad, Connor, tell everybody who you are, what do you do over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me back, Prince. My name's Connor Resbeck. I'm a channel manager on the West Coast here for Dialpad. I've been with the organization for 9 years in different roles, previously as a sales engineer. So wearing many hats and excited to be managing our relationship together.
First and foremost, thank you so much for being here, and I definitely appreciate your time to show me and the viewers a demo of what Dialpad can do for call centers and businesses that need a really powerful contact center solution. So thanks a bunch for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so without any further ado, I'll let you take it away. I'll let you start with what feature. For those of you who are watching, before he jumps into this, if we were to do like a full overview of Dialpad Contact Center, this would be like a 10-hour video.
Yeah.
So I specifically asked him to show what features, we're going to go down the list of what features they believe the majority of their users that are using the platform value the most. So without any further ado, take it away.
So I will focus maybe on like 10 or so features where we've seen a lot of use cases and traction, where we're adding a lot of value to our different customers. I'm going to share my screen. For purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to focus just on my desktop application here, but the user experience would be the same if they're on mobile or a tablet or, what have you.
Hey. Before we move on, I'm assuming the reason you're watching this video is because you're searching for contact center service for your sales agents, team members, or call center. I want to remind you about our free consulting service to help you figure out which contact center service is best for you. We represent all the major contact center service providers in the USA, and we're paid by referrals only, so our consulting service is absolutely free. If you'd like my help, all you have to do is visit our website at www.rtgcallcentersolutions.com, and you can request help from my team and I via our Contact Us page. Filling out the form is super easy and takes less than a couple of minutes. So, if you're looking for new contact center service for your business, we can help. A link to our website is also in the description below this video.
And to give you a quick lay of the land before I jump into a live call, within the Dialpad desktop application, one unique thing about Dialpad is that even though we're going to be focusing on the contact center for today's video, Dialpad truly is one unified experience if you are a UC user or a contact center user. So if you're a back office accountant or if you're heavy inbound, outbound support or sales, it's the same app. That also means one admin portal, one SLA, one analytics portal. It's not difficult to manage for the end users or your admins. And what I mean by that, as you can see here on the left-hand side, I have a tab for contact centers. If I click into it, I can see the different contact centers that are associated with my account, not just for voice, but also digital channels as well if someone were to chat or use email, things like that. So even though it's multiple channels and multiple instances, it's all in this one application, where if I go back to my regular inbox where I have my direct phone number, if I didn't have a contact center license, this dropdown just wouldn't appear in my application. So just be looking a little bit cleaner. So for today, we're going to focus on the contact center. And I've created a contact center that I named Smart Auto Care. This is an actual customer of ours at Dialpad. I'm going to call inbound here and give it a second to connect. I'm also going to mute my other side just because I always get a little bit of echo when I'm doing these demonstrations. There I have the inbound call notification. I'm going to answer this call. And one unique thing about Dialpad, right away you'll notice that we transcribe the calls live with around 90% accuracy on American English. And this is out of the box with every license of ours. This is all in-house for us. We don't white label third parties. We aren't sending your information to third parties like OpenAI or Anthropic or Google. We built our own model. We have our own data that it's trained on. So it's hyper accurate to business conversations like grabbing action items, detecting sentiments, and summarizing what was talked about. For purposes of this call, though, I'm actually going to minimize the transcription for now. You'll only notice I'm transcribing one side of the call. That's because I've just muted my mobile, just again, because of the echo. Otherwise, it would capture both sides of the conversation. These libraries can also be updated. So whatever your company uses that may not, or vernacular they use, that's not in like the Webster dictionary, whether it's like an acronym or a competitor name or something like that, you can update the library and the AI will get better and better and be able to pick up and track those specific words to your business. So like I mentioned, I'm going to minimize this call for now, or the transcription for now. At the bottom, all of your standard call controls are available, right? Mute, hold, transfer, things like that. And before I transition to Contact Center, I did want to quickly highlight, we have upgraded our integration with Microsoft Teams. And so I'm going to pull up my browser here. And we actually have two flavors of our Microsoft Teams integration. At Dialpad, we have a philosophy of we just kind of want to meet your end users where they want to work. So whether that, like I said earlier, if it's mobile, it's desktop, it's desk phone, or maybe it's Microsoft Teams, it's almost the exact same experience no matter what. So here you can see in our first flavor of the integration, we have direct routing where the Smart Auto Care sales line has a call log history that I use for my demos. You can see the exact test call we're on right now was recognized in Teams. But what I really want to focus on is our embedded experience within Teams. And so you'll notice, even though I answered this call within my desktop application, we have an iframe widget that lives in Teams where it's exact feature parity from the desktop to what's in Teams. So if they don't want to have another app on their computer and just live and breathe out of Teams, they can still reference Dialpad, still text, call, even reference their contact centers. As you can see, I'm occupied because I answered this call. I have all my call controls within the Teams interface here. So total feature parity there as well. Now focusing more on specific contact center features, also related to the Smart Auto Care and our customer. They've really leaned into a few features that we think are really helpful with AI around coaching, both for the agent and the supervisor. And so this first one I want to talk about are our real-time recommendations or real-time assists. And so essentially with Smart Auto Care, it's a dealership. They go through a lot of seasonal hiring, especially in the summer. And so they get questions for these new hires around like the different insurance options that can be provided. And if it's your first day, first week, you may not be as fluent with those options. And as you can see, my AI coach popped up. I should mention the personal watercraft, our motorcycle, ATV, and things like that. So this is really common for helping onboard new users, or if you have a spread out workforce and you want to get everyone on the same page, maybe there is a campaign being broadcasted out to everyone. These recommendations are triggered by keywords within the transcription. So the transcription picked up that insurance was brought up on my call. And then my manager told me to mention these different options. And then we can even link to the knowledge base of your choosing. This opened up on my other monitor. Let me move this over here. As you can see, the page is loading. But in this example, it takes me back to Smart Auto Care's homepage where I can reference, their comprehensive coverage options. So whatever you have as your source of truth for your users, your agents, whether, like I said, it's, support information or sales campaigns that are changing, whatever it is, it can all be right at the fingertips for your users based on those keywords. And then in the admin portal, these recommendations take maybe 1 minute to set up. It's very, very simple. A few other things that have been pretty popular within the Dialpad contact center experience. Again, coaching is a big theme, so getting information right away, but then also making sure agents follow talk tracks. So probably our most popular feature of late have been AI playbooks. And so I have a pretty generic playbook set up on this line where the AI is going through and listening for different topics that are mentioned on my call. So I'll follow in the sales example where if your agents or the VP of sales wants everyone to follow the same type of qualification, in this example, it's just regular BANT, what's the budget, the authority, the timeline, things like that. We can set that up and then run analytics on this too. I'm actually going to toggle to a different playbook. I have one created specifically for Smart Auto Care, where their sales agents, when they get a call, they have to ask pretty specific questions. For example, like what's the VIN number on the vehicle, right? Or if someone's going to be trading in the vehicle, it's like, hey, what's the timeline on when you're looking to have this completed? And we run the refresh rate on these to be about every 30 seconds or so. But as you can see, we've picked up, Connor's already talked about the budget. And it asks, what's the budget they set aside for this example? What's the timeline? I know I still need to ask, hey, what's the driver's license information that you're going to be trading in? As you can see, I didn't have to do anything on myself as the agent. This is all the AI running in the background. And these can be customized to whatever your company's qualification standards might be. So like I mentioned, for Smart Auto Care, it could be specific to cars. But we've even seen a whole bunch of recruiting is a really great example, right? Where if recruiters have to interview candidates and ask, what's their desired salary range or what's their work from home expectations, there's a lot of regulation in not showing bias when recruiting and interviewing candidates. Now with our playbooks, we can help make sure that every recruiter is asking those candidates the same questions in the same way, not forgetting something after the fact, and then again, run analytics on it. So we can see, hey, is Prince asking the right start date question, or does he forget 20% of the time? How can I help improve him on that?
This is probably easily my favorite feature. And the reason I say that, for those of you watching this who may or may not understand our process, our internal sales team here at Rich Technology Group and RTG Call Center Solutions, they have specific questions, a checklist, but it's not this advanced. It's more like on paper or more like on a bulletin board. It's a specific checklist of things that I require that they ask during a consultation so that we can say it was a real consultation. Like, did you ask how many extensions they have? Did you ask, what does their business do? Because I feel like you can't help somebody figure out what communication system makes the most sense for them if you don't even know what they do. So this is impressive. That is super impressive.
Yeah, exactly. The use cases are bountiful for any type of role that has any type of qualification. These playbooks are pretty amazing. And again, like you said at the beginning, Prince, we don't have time to get into everything on the contact center platform, but we have an entire analytics portal that then dives deeper into these. So you can relate, Connor's hitting the playbook 80% of the time, but he's missing his quota because deals are slipping because he's forgetting to ask about the timeline, right? So you can draw correlations to their actual productivity from here.
So you can draw data for a specific agent or team. You can draw actual data based on the playbook hit or miss from what you're saying.
And it's not even just the specific user or data, but let's say you want to make several playbooks and you could see, hey, this playbook seems to have a success rate of 90% versus this other playbook has a success rate of 80%. So we get very, very granular on the specific topics, but also the playbooks and the agents themselves. Last couple of things while I'm still in this live call. Again, I have the transcription running in the background. As you can see, I just have it minimized. But we have more of your traditional features as well within the contact center. So if I toggle to the specific line that I'm in, as the manager, which I am in this call, I can see all of my agents, who they're speaking with, the sentiment, and the purpose of the call, which is picked up from the AI. I can also see if agents are off duty. I could toggle them on and off duty, right? More of your traditional contact center features. But we have our own little flavor on it where I could come in here and again, it's just muted on one side of the conversation. But let's say I wanted to jump in, listen to a call. I'll actually unmute this so you can see both sides. If someone called in and they were really mad and they were demanding a refund about something. Again, let me mute that. You can see we picked up Craig's side of the conversation here. And in real time, the sentiment changed to negative. The AI picked up that Craig was mad about something. So then myself as the manager, I could be alerted if one of my agents is having a call that's going negatively. And this is in real time. It's not after the fact where you're having to do damage control or losing a sale or having a customer be angry and potentially churning. Now I could be alerted immediately. I could then ultimately listen in, barge in, take over that call if needed. Ultimately, right now in this example, I am the agent on the call, so I can't listen in on a call I'm already on. But if Prince was my agent and he was on the call, I could then take it over from him too.
Gotcha.
So it's the real time that sets us apart. And this is unique to Dialpad because of what I said earlier, where we aren't using third parties for our AI. It's all in-house, which allows us to act, in the moment. Awesome. Okay, so with that, I'm actually going to hang up this call. A few other traditional contact center features like dispositions, right? Like was that a connection? And then I can even come in and see, did the AI pick up that I hit everything in my playbook? It eventually did grab that I mentioned the VIN number and the driver's license information, even highlights specifically what the rep says on each one of these topics. And then let me go into my call history. These are all the users that have called into my contact center. And again, on that topic of real time, what's nice is that I'm going to focus on our AI recaps now. And so Craig had called in earlier. And I can come in and see, even though I'm on a shared line in my contact center, I could see the last person they spoke to, which again was me. But I can see they had a 5-minute conversation. And Craig had called in because he was looking to trade in his car. Craig mentioned his vehicle number. He wants to get a new Jeep hybrid, and the quote's going to be sent at 4 p.m. This comes available immediately after every call. As you can see, it's generating a recap right now. And it pops up for me within seconds. I didn't have to request a recap. I didn't need to upload a recording. This all gets generated right at the fingertips of those users. These recaps are amazing. It's my personal favorite feature that we've released in probably the last 5 years. And as you can see, it's extremely accurate. And I even muted one side of my conversation, right? So in this call, Connor showcases the Dialpad contact center features. We talked about Microsoft Teams, our AI, keywords, playbooks. So extremely accurate. And this can also be, changed where this is medium form, but let's say you digest information better with bullet points. It'll take a couple seconds here to update and load, but then we'll be able to summarize those conversations in bullet points in the future. There you go.
That's pretty cool. So it's like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about, how can we make the end user's life a little bit easier? And we'll jump into this a little bit later, but all of our out-of-the-box integrations also live here, and this information gets pushed to those as well. But before I jump into that, just harping on the idea of immediate availability, and I'm going to jump into this call that we just had. Okay, so give us a second to load. But again, nothing had to, I didn't have to wait 20 minutes, even though this was a 10-minute long call for this information to appear. And as you can see, Dialpad offers more than just audio recording and transcription. We also offer screen recording on all the monitors the user might be working through. We call this the call review or call summary page. There's a few features in here that I really like to focus on. As I scroll down, I could see the summary. My manager can also come in and see these calls because they have the rights to my calls. I could share these with other users who normally don't, if I had questions or if I wanted to comment, give feedback, things like that. But a really cool feature that we also offer are called custom moments. And so from here, it's very easy for a manager to go through and navigate the conversation. So if I wanted to see, there was negative sentiment triggered, I can click on that and it takes me directly to the 9-minute mark and bolds exactly where the AI is picking up that the negative sentiment was triggered. So as a manager, I don't need to spend 10 minutes combing through a conversation or listening to the recording. It's very easy for me to jump to exactly what I care about. Same thing if there was like the triggers for the insurance gets optioned, right? It highlights exactly there. We also see this common for sales teams where it's like, hey, I want to know anytime a pricing conversation gets brought up. Or, if there's a new topic being introduced, we just have a new moment. And then it's really easy after the fact to navigate directly to that part of the conversation. Okay, then last couple of things within this call review page. Call playbooks, like I mentioned, we have a full analytics portal, so the manager could come in and see, okay, perfect, Connor hit 100% of the playbook I created for him. But what's really cool are these scorecards. Within Smart AutoCare's use case, before they implemented Dialpad, they had managers listening back to conversations at random on the recording and then pausing, starting. The average was about 3 recordings per week they would listen to per rep, because it would take, if it's a 20-minute on call, it would take maybe 30 minutes to grade the conversation. Now with AI, they literally plug in, did the rep ask about insurance? And they can click this. And again, it takes them directly to the point in the conversation where insurance is mentioned, and the AI is plugging it for me. Also, was budget asked in the correct way for this example? No. Or did I close the call appropriately? No, because this was a test call. Our AI is not focused necessarily on taking away people's roles, but now for the quality assurance manager at Smart AutoCare, instead of grading 3 calls per rep per month, with AI, they can grade literally 100% of every single call that comes into their business and then easily navigate to where they want to talk about and then grade those reps accordingly. So last couple of things, like I mentioned, we have the Salesforce integration. So this is our call summary page. If I go to my Salesforce instance, I have pulled up Craig's contact information in Salesforce. And on the right-hand side, I have my activity history. So we log text messages and calls into almost all of our CRM integrations that are out of the box. I'll focus again on this one conversation that we just had. So again, it's not like you have to wait any time. All this information is immediately pushed to those third-party CRMs. And all of these fields are set up out of the box with just single sign-on to set it up. It's not a big configuration. And so I can come in and see what was the phone number that was called, how long was the call in duration of seconds, links back to the recordings and that call summary page I was just on for the managers if they want to be able to reference it and not take up all of the transcription in Salesforce, because a lot of these CRMs charge for storage. So if we were to put an entire 11-minute long transcript in, it would be pretty costly pretty quickly. But then as I scroll down to more metadata, right, like what was the actual MP3 file? But my favorite thing is at the bottom here, you'll notice we have an entire object for the Dialpad AI, which again is out of the box. And so that manager can come in and see the summary of the call. Because I changed it to 2 bullet points, it got logged in Salesforce as bullet points. If it would have been in the longer form of like paragraph form, it would show up in paragraph here. But as well as some of the more specific AI. So did Connor adhere to the playbook? 100% of the time. It'll check off here what I hit as well. And then lastly, if I did want to live and breathe out of Salesforce, we have a dialer that sits here. So I can make calls. I can call Craig back. I can answer calls. I can text from within here as well. Hello.
So this part you just showed me is inside of Salesforce. This is like a data dump essentially from that particular call. What if someone isn't using, I know this isn't the ideal scenario, but what if somebody isn't using like a Salesforce or a Zendesk or a ServiceNow or something? How would they see that data in Dialpad as in itself? How would that present itself?
Yeah, totally. So all of this information, it's still in this call summary page. You notice like the Dialpad AI summary and the playbooks, that's still within the Dialpad domain in our call summary. And so as an end user or manager, I could go to a tab here in the admin portal for the conversation history. I'll go to my specific conversations, and here's my entire call log history. So I can see that call we just made this morning. I have my AI grades. And then if I wanted to reference that summary, it's just a few clicks away, where now I'm back at this page. So that's one way to navigate to this information. Or like we mentioned, we have a full-blown analytics portal where we can track, inbound, outbound keywords, those playbooks, scorecards, right? Was the agent getting a better score? Is the user getting a better score? So Dialpad can be the entire source of truth for the data if you'd like us to. But if you're already using a CRM of another kind for that source of truth, we'll push that information there as well.
I got a couple of questions for you. First question, it's more of a technical question, probably an easy one. What if I see that there was a part that looked like it was installed like that, and then I saw that there was a part that looked like it was in a browser? I'm asking this for the folks that are watching that may be a Mac, they may be a PC, or they may be like me, they use a Chromebook or something like that. Does this all run in a browser, or is it on like an installed like .dmg or .exe or all of the above?
All the above, yeah. So the big philosophy is we just want to meet the end user how they like to work. So in this example, this is a desktop application that I'm working out of, but we can work from a Chrome browser as well if you want to have a plugin that would just launch the Chrome plugin here. Or even if I wanted to, for example, Microsoft Teams, I was working out of the browser. Or if you want to just type in a URL, for example, we could work straight from the browser here. And it's the same exact experience as well. Same thing with mobile for iOS and Android tablets. It's all the same.
Okay. And then my last question before we wrap things up is, what industries, for the viewers that are watching, what industries, if you had to pick, say, 3 to 5, what are the top industries or business types that you find adopt Dialpad the most?
Yeah, good question. And I feel like this answer will be a little bit of a cop-out, but it's really any industry that is looking to communicate with their customers, whether it's over voice or digital channels. We have customers in finance, healthcare, retail, insurance, across the whole gambit. It's more so, are you interested in moving your communications to the cloud? And if so, does AI intrigue you? And would you like to have more advanced analytics, more advanced coaching for those users, where Dialpad is a out-of-the-box solution where you don't need to, build on or Frankenstein together all these different, tools, especially with AI being such a big buzzword now. With Dialpad, you show up and you have access out of the box to all these features at one location.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Connor. That was much more than I bargained for, and I actually learned. I mean, I've worked with Dialpad for years now, but I actually learned quite. I know you guys have always been improving your AI and adding new features and then sharpening existing features even more, but I actually learned a lot from that myself. So thank you so much for your time and for being here as always.
Yeah, good to hear. Thanks for having me, Prince.
For those of you who are watching this, and as Connor put it, you're interested in seeing more of what's under the hood with Dialpad, meaning I hope today's demo, kind of whet your taste buds to what Dialpad can really do and why it's been one of our favorite contact center providers to actually recommend to many customers that we've worked with. But if you want to see more of what's under the hood and maybe even, see a demo that's kind of a bit more tailored to your specific needs, but also get a quote with custom pricing based on your needs, contact us via the information below this video. As always, when you reach out to us, my team will actually speak with you to figure out a little bit more about what your business does, who you are, what some of the pains you may be having with your current existing or non-existent communication solution is, and see if Dialpad is a good fit for you before we put you in touch with the experts like Connor over there that can, show demos and talk with you about special pricing and all that. As always, this is Prince Rich with RTG Call Center Solutions. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.